What kind of questions are you gonna ask me?
All right, we're in. You don't even know.
No, I don't.
I know. I switched up the questions too.
Did you? I've got no clue what's coming at me. All right, let's do it.
Literally switched these up. What's up, everybody? Dr. Sam Camrod here with my special guest. I'll be interviewing Dr. Brian Dickinson. We're both from Camrod Chiropractic, and Brian has no idea the questions I'm about to ask him. We're going to be talking about sports and chiropractic. All right,
Yeah,
Brian, you ready for this?
yeah, let's do it.
All right, so 1 to 10, 10 being the ultimate, the best. How would you rate these things as it relates to athletes and pain relief and recovery?
Okay,
Just off the top of your head, ready? It's gonna be quick.
okay.
Infrared saunas,
9,
cold plunges,
6 or 7.
red light therapy,
9.
PEMF.
Hmm. Let's say 8, just because I don't know as much as I would like to about it.
All right, cool. Cupping,
Cupping. Yeah, when it's done right, it's 8.
awesome. Grounding,
Grounding, 10 out of 10. 100%.
hydration,
10 out of 10. Yeah,
electrolytes,
essential. 10 out of 10.
nutrition,
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Definitely.
sleep.
11 if I could.
All right, soft wave.
Soft wave 12, yeah.
All right, crushed it,
No,
crushed
for
it.
the right person, honestly, soft wave's great. But it's not for everybody, like anything.
Love it. All right, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you're all about. Tell us how you got into sports chiropractic, your background, your sports, where you went to undergrad, where you went to grad, how you even got into sports and chiropractic.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I grew up playing baseball, football, basketball, soccer when I was younger. All the main sports everybody plays. But so went to Mercyhurst University and got my undergraduate in athletic training. That's kind of how I started. And then after undergrad, went to University of Rochester, where I was a athletic trainer there. Didn't go to school there, was employed there. Did a lot of rehab in the Rochester Sports and Spine Rehab Clinic, and was also the outreach athletic trainer at Churchville Chi School District, where I covered all modified through varsity sports. Um, After that, well, around that time, COVID hit and went back to school for chiropractic. During my time at Mercyhurst, I was able to shadow a sports chiropractor. So that was kind of my inspiration for getting in. He was an awesome doc in Erie, Pennsylvania, and that kind of made me want to do it. It inspired me to go into sports chiropractic. So went back to school at what was formerly New York Chiropractic College and is now Northeast College of Health Sciences. And I graduated with my doctorate in chiropractic and also a master's in applied clinical nutrition. After graduating, came on with Dr. Sam here at Camerata Chiropractic, and yeah, we're here.
Love it. Nice, nice intro, nice background. And all the athletes that you care for are lucky to have you. You've been paramount in our community. And I'm sure all of them, if we had 100 of them sitting behind me, they would each say something positive about you, how you've impacted their lives. So
That's the
let's
goal.
let's jump into this. We got top three core questions, and we're gonna try to keep this whole entire video from start to finish. So we're already a couple minutes in under 15 to 20 minutes, so the readers don't get bored. The followers, sorry. All right. How does sports chiropractic go beyond pain relief and actually enhance athletic performance, strength, and mobility?
Yeah, chiropractic in sports is huge. I mean, what we do mainly is integrate and influence the nervous system. So our nervous system has complete control over how our body moves in space, and the control that we have over those movements in sports. That's paramount. That is essential for performing well, right? So we have more control over our body. We can perform at a higher level. And then, outside of that, there is the health of muscles in our body, right? So you touched on pain relief. Obviously, we can do that. We do pain relief, but prevention and prevention is the biggest part, right? So injury prevention through chiropractic, making sure the body's moving in a healthy way, making sure our body is able to move through the range of motion we ask it to move through during our sport, is huge. If our body lacks range of motion or is not able to do what we're asking it to do, that's when we open up to injury. So if we can kind of cut down on those risk factors by just making sure our body's healthy, the musculoskeletal system is up to par and up to speed and healthy, and then the nervous system is functioning optimally. That's how we kind of get to our highest level of performance.
Love that.
And obviously combine that with nutrition and sleep and all the stuff that we touched on before, right?
Absolutely. All right, next question, number two.
Yeah.
When you evaluate an athlete, so let's say you got an athlete in your office, or someone listening, let's say like you're a parent of an athlete, or maybe an athlete listening to this, you're like, hey, what does Dr. Brian got to say about sports chiropractic? What are the key movement or postural patterns that you're looking for that can either make or break performance on the field or on the court?
Yeah, so when it comes to movement, there are some basic movement patterns, right? And we could go deep and we could go all the way from rolling over to crawling to standing and walking. I won't go that far in depth, but as far as movement patterns go and what you ask it to do, your body needs to get down in an athletic position. That would be a hip hinge and a squat, right? So those two movement patterns are pretty big, and those are the main movement patterns for the lower body. A squatting movement, get up and down, make sure the body can do that in a symmetrical way and in a strong way. First off, in a strong, safe way, and then efficiently and adding speed to it. That's huge. And then doing the same with a hip hinge. And then obviously, there's upper body pushes and there's upper body pulls. At different times in sports, we're asked to do those things. And then, we have our rotational sports. You rotate in every sport, but the main sports being, baseball, lacrosse, or golf. Those add a huge component, tennis, a huge component of rotation to it. And we need to make sure that the body can do that in a healthy way too.
Love it. Love it. All right, number three. And then we got a couple of bonus ones that are just going to fire off whatever
Okay.
comes to your head. All right, in your experience, what are the most common sports injuries that you see on a daily basis or on a weekly basis? I know it's very broad, but if you could hit some of those. And then how does chiropractic and some of the other therapies that you're able to bring into the room help accelerate healing compared to traditional medical approaches?
Yeah. So traditional medical approaches being like surgeries or medicine, is that what you're kind of
Yeah,
saying?
surgery, injections, things like yeah, over the counter stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so typical injuries, I would say most common injuries would be overuse injuries, or an under-conditioned injury, right? So that might be some sort of tendinopathy, so maybe an Achilles tendonitis. That would be overuse injury or elbow tendonitis. It just kind of depends on what the activity is. Other examples might be shin splints. So maybe we have those athletes that are on turf a lot, or they're changing the grass, or they're going from pavement to turf, whatever it might be. A lot of those they get shin splints, right? So those are kind of the biggest things, which also could kind of be a tendinopathy as well. Now, the way that we kind of are able to heal those and speed up the healing process through a couple different things, right? A lot of manual therapies. So it might be something like ART, active release therapy, where we can just kind of pin and stretch those muscles, bring more blood flow to it. Something like grafting or scraping. All of these things bring healthy blood into the muscle, help it heal a little bit better and a little bit faster, kickstart that inflammation process or restart that inflammation process. And then, obviously in our office, we have the soft wave, which does all of those things on a super efficient level, a little bit differently, not through micro traumas, but through the sound waves that we put into it. But all those things just kind of kickstart the healing process, get it going a little bit, and hopefully get our athletes to return to the field a little bit faster or not miss any time on the field at all.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, you ready for the rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Bonus questions. Here we go. All right, how does chiropractic care fit into an athlete's off-season versus in-season routine?
Yeah, so like we said earlier, one of the biggest things with chiropractic in sports is injury prevention. So, the best time to start with that, any prehab is before the season starts, right? So we can manage throughout the season. We're managing acute injuries or maybe something that comes up, and just kind of keeping the body conditioned. But it all starts in the preseason or in the off season. So if we can kind of get the body right in the preseason and off season so that you're able to train, and ask your body to develop the way you need it to in order to perform for your sport later during the season. That's our main goal as chiropractors for the off season, at least.
Love that. All right. Can you explain the connection between the spine, the nervous system, and athletic coordination in a very quick, I know that could be very broad, but
Yeah,
if you're going to give a one liner, like an elevator speech.
yeah, sure. Yeah, so the nervous system, the main hub of the nervous system is the spinal cord, and then up to the brain, right? So the nervous system all comes back to that spine, and if the spine isn't moving correctly, or say there's a little bit of an impingement or a just a motion restriction at any segment, right? That segment will correlate to something else in the body, whether it be motor or visceral organs too, right? So yeah, so if we want to make sure that the body's moving correctly, we need the nervous system to be cohesive and functioning optimally. I fumbled on that earlier. To kind of get back to your question, if we go to the spinal cord, right, make sure that's good, and then we kind of work our way out, make sure there's no adhesions or any impediments in the nerve all the way out to whatever limb, whether it be a leg or an arm that we're working on. If that nerve is not functioning optimally for the third time, proprioception, movement, motor control, and feeling as well, that's all impeded. So if we can't do those three things or any of those three things, it's not going to move the way we need it to, and then we open ourselves up to injury.
Absolutely. How has your background in athletic training and nutrition influenced your approach as a sports chiropractor?
Yeah, I mean it's huge. That's kind of the basis of all of it, right? So I think my experience in athletic training and being able to see such a wide variety of injuries as they happen, and also see them through that rehab process after they've happened, has really shaped the way that I look at my treatment in the office today, right? So come in with something. I I won't say there's nothing I haven't seen, because there's always something I haven't seen. Sometimes people walking in like, wow, I haven't seen that one before. But and early in the career, but yeah, so a lot of times I can be hit with something, and hopefully I can draw on some experience from the past of having dealt with that and having to guide an athlete through that, and kind of bring that into the practice today.
I love that. I love that. All right, last rapid fire question, and then you're gonna tell others how they could find you on Instagram and socials and email and all that good stuff. All right, so what advice would you give to parents if they're listening about their young student athlete to help prevent injuries before they even happen?
Mhm. Yeah, it all starts at home. It all starts with food, having a good meal together as families, sleeping, right? So just kind of making sure that there's some ground rules where, just making sure that your athlete's getting the sleep that it needs, the recovery that it needs. Our body recovers while we're asleep. So if your child is going out and having a hard practice one day, they have practice or a game again the next day, so they have to recover for that, to be able to perform at the level they want to be able to perform at, right? And if they can't, then they're opening themselves up for injury afterwards. But nutrition's huge. So just making sure that your kid is getting in the nutrients that its body needs, and that might be different in the off season than it is during the season. And I know food's hard sometimes. We don't always have time if we're running out to practice and stuff, but if we can make that as much of a priority as possible. Food and sleep are the two biggest things a parent can control. So, kind of get those under control. And obviously, schoolwork comes first too. Can't be out on the field if you're not hitting the books. So, books, food, nutrition, and sleep. Those are the biggest things a parent can do.
Love it. All right, guys, if you love this, we got many more of this. We're actually going to be going to sports specific. Dr. Brian has so much head knowledge and information that's actually applicable, not just textbook. Literally, he's seen this. He's doing this on the day in and out right here at Camera Chiropractic, all around the community. We're excited to have him. How do people get a hold of you? How can they schedule? And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, cameratachiropractic.com. Go on, schedule a new patient or existing patient appointments there. Anything from chiropractic to soft wave to golf performance, anything you want to do, just kind of let us know. If there's something that's not on the website, give us a call at the office and we can go from there. Email Dr. Brian, Dr. Brian at cameratachiropractic.com. And then my new Instagram, I should say, is at Dr. Brian, DrBrian Dickinson. And you can find a bunch of good stuff. Once I get it up and running, you'll be able to find more good information and tidbits on there.
Awesome. All right, guys, stay well, stay blessed, stay healthy, stay fit. I'll see you next time.